Hello friends, how is everyone doing? My name is Harry and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to do a review and my final thoughts on the game Lords of the Fallen after finishing my first playthrough. When the game was launched in 2023, it's an action RPG Souls-like game set up in a dark fantasy world. The game didn't receive critical acclaim and the sales the company perceived it will when it was initially launched because it has a lot of issues. You had to be running and then press the button. There was no designated jump button, and there were a lot of issues with the game, and a lot of people didn't like it because of that. But I still chose this game as the first game that I'll play on my channel and review before I move to the next game I would love. Is my pure appreciation and love for the CI Studios because they lived up to their name, the way they market themselves, and they say that they are gamers focused or they're consumer focused developers first, and they lived up to that word. They did 40 to 50 patches to the point we have Lords of the Fallen 2.0, and that's what I played and finished my plus playthrough. So, I had a lot of fun. Like, we had a lot of fun playing the games, and I really enjoyed my experience. So there were a lot of things that I really liked, and there were a few things, minor things that I didn't end up liking or had issues with. So we'll go into everything. So first of all, the game has a lot of new mechanics. So there is a thing, like you have this lamp that you get from the beginning, and there is a thing called umbrella lamp, and it serves multiple purposes. So if you see this enemy over there, so if I go and try to kill him, so see, he's not, like, we don't see his health pool. Now you can see it. So it's 100% covered into that green. So but if I pull up the Umbra Realm, I can see a small entity which is kind of giving him protection. So, and there is a way we don't have to go to Umbra Realm. Like, if you guys see, now I can go and kill him. And otherwise, before, if I could have kept hitting him and I won't be able to kill him, but because this lamp helps us to go from, so this right now we are in Axiom world, and if you use the lamp, it takes us to the Umbral. So the Umbral is, these are two interconnected realms which we can navigate, and you have to navigate both to actually progress the game. So without using this, you won't be able to. I would say initially it really took me a little bit of time to get used to it, but it actually is a very good addition. Couple of things. So when you see those moths flying around and you see this lamp is flickering right now, and you can hear it like their vibrations and sounds, that means it's urging for you to look around in the umbral, and you probably cannot proceed further if you don't go into the umbral realm. So right now, if I do this and we go to the umbral realm, if you guys see that now I can proceed further. This is a different realm we shifted and warped into. So right now we have to use the lamp to navigate here. Without the umbrella lamp, you won't be able to come through this side, and this is the gimmick, one of the bigger new mechanic or sort of gimmick in the game. So you have to use this a lot, and it's very helpful in a lot of boss fights. And this is the area guys, like, which is part of the demo, so there will be no spoilers apart from some end game gear that you will see or the weapon that you can see in my hand. So there is not literally not going to be any spoilers in terms of game area wise or the enemy wise. So but when you are in Umbral, if you find a vestige point, which is sort of the bonfire, if you rest, you are able to get out of Umbral. So now if you go back and you see that area, it's again not accessible. So if I want to go there, I have to again go back in the Umbral realm. And if you see that enemy over there, so I'm just trying to focus on him, I can't kill him again until again if I shift in Umbral, and you can see that small entity that is attached to him, it's giving him sort of a buff. If that bar is light gray or whatever that color is, man, if that bar is like that, no matter how weak or strong that enemy is, you can't kill that enemy unless you take care of that small entity attached to that enemy. So that's a big thing, and a lot of boss fights you need to use this lamp's ability for your fighting, and that's That's the other thing. And another thing, we'll quickly go in Umbral, and apart from using the vestige points, there are other small little things all over that you can use to get out of Umber. So you would have to find these things, and when you get close to them, they will give you a prompt which says emerge from Umbral. You just have to press the X button, or whichever, if you play Xbox, whatever the equivalent keys for that, which you would know when you are playing the game, you will be able to get out of Umbral. And the other thing is, so you guys see on the top where I have my vigor or my runes, below that it says 1.10. So if I kill this enemy right now, I'm getting more runes or vigor. It's called vigor in this game. So that thing, the longer I stay in this area, you see the small line going around the eye, the number of vigor I get will go from 1.2 to 1.3 to all the way to 2.0 and above. But the thing is, if you stay in this area too long thinking that, oh, you know what, I'm gonna stay this here, and the enemies will keep spawning to kill you, and they'll get stronger and stronger slowly. But if you think you'll do that, and you would, make yourself super strong, and you will probably farm a lot of vigors and runes, you see, this is how the enemy spawns. That's not a good idea either, because the moment this eye would go all the way around the top line that's going around it, and you can see it's increasing slowly and slowly. If it goes all the way to the red, a very strong enemy would emerge, which you guys, until you're in the second half and actually the last quarter of the game, you do have a really hard time killing that enemy, and it's super strong. It's almost unkillable in the beginning, so you definitely don't want to go through that. So we are just going to get out of this and talk about a couple of other things. So I'll share you guys a couple of things that I really like about it. So we played strength. I started with a strength build. I really love playing strength builds. So this is the weapon we started with. So the combat, I really love I really enjoyed the combat in this game. I think whichever type of player type of your style you choose, like you do agility, you choose strength, or you choose there is paladin build, so you can, which is pretty much through radiance, and there is pyromancy, which is through your inferno in this game. Let me show you, you guys, the stats. So you guys see the strength, agility, and endurance. So endurance is pretty much your equipment load and how much stamina you have, and agility is your dexterity in this game. So strength is very strong in this game when I played with strength, and I'm pretty sure agility would be the same. So you choose radiance or inferno, whichever build, you can go and become a big guy and become a bomb machine. So this was my starter weapon, and after a little bit further in the game, we were able to get this. This is in the first few areas of the game. I don't want to say exactly where, so you guys would be able to not being spoiled. So this is the moveset. So this is your basic R1, and that's your R2. And the good thing about R2 is that now although it's the same speed, but you can hold R2 to get more powerful, and you can increase your damage output through that. And if you're doing, you can do two hands, and in the middle you can press a key to get, you can change your attack pattern from single hand to double hand whenever you want in the middle of it. And at the same time, we can dual wield. So if you guys would see at the very bottom on the right hand side, below my sword, it says increase strength scaling, gain health and upon killing an enemy, and increase physical damage. So you would be able to get amulets in this game, things which you are able to slot them in your weapons once you start upgrading them. The moment you start upgrading them, they will become available to you, and you will be able to use them. Let me show you. Quest and upgrade. So these are the runes. So these runes you will be able to stock in your weapons and other, like even in the shield. So I actually pretty much didn't use shield in this game, but in certain areas, because once I upgraded, I found that you can put runes even in your shields and use that for, you know, various things. So let me show you guys. So in this shield, I was able to put something which helps me regenerate my stamina. You don't need a cloth ring, you can equip some different kind of a ring and you can use that, and you have an increased maximum immunity capacity. So there is a lot going in this game that you figure out and you learn. So we use this for a little bit of the little bit portion of the game for the strength build. Guys, let me show you the. So after a little bit we got this. It's your strength big bong weapon. I used it for a little bit of amount of a time to progress further, but the moment we got this weapon, which is the Sword of Skin and Tooth, it's almost just a little bit modified gut sword, guys. I was like, okay, we have to use it. And this game, this is big bong, big guy sword. You can pretty much go through almost towards the end of the game and even finish the game with this weapon. And I used this weapon all the way to the end of the game until we got this. This, from my perspective, is the best strength weapon. This is your big destroy everything hammer, because this thing has S scaling, as you can see, in strength, and not only that, it has a split damage and it does all kinds of damage that the game has. It does physical, it does holy, it does fire, it has wither. But the issue is you don't get this weapon almost towards the until to the very end of the game. So you would only be use it for a while before that, but you have other weapons. And similarly, you have a lot of choices if you pick Radiance, Inferno or Vitality. I have seen some of the magic things that you can use which are really awesome and good. I did not end up using magic, even though we were planning to use it. I just enjoyed playing with just strength build so much. So these are your spells. These are your all radiant spells, and Inferno spells I didn't keep it. I actually ended up saving them. So the combat you guys are really going to enjoy. So one thing about the weapons I didn't like it, the moveset. I really like the moveset, don't get me wrong. The reason that I said that is because if you have a weapon which has the similar class, so if you get another sword which is the same class as this sword, or unless you get a great sword which is the same class like this sword, so like a great sword, or you get a big hammer, the moveset of all those weapons, even if they are like 15 different weapons that you get, is same. So there is not really, apart from how the weapon looks, there is no other benefit. They might scale differently, but in terms of movement, because you want to try a different movement, then you just have to altogether go to a different class of weapon, which is not fun, and I didn't like it. In a game like Elden Ring, when we have I think 300 plus or 400 plus weapons, they managed to give a different style of movement, so many of them, making them unique just from the point of movements perspective. And a lot of people just use those different weapons just because of they really like the movement of those weapons, and they got better with that. So that was one little minor thing that I didn't end up liking. And another new thing that this game used, if you guys see top on the red line is my health bar. So, and the green is my stamina. The line just below that is your capacity to throw things. So if you guys see, I have equipped, let me see, if I have equipped something and if I kill somebody, you guys see it goes through this meter. So and you have something that you can use to replenish this meter. And the thing that you need, like there is one way to do it, is if you go and rest at a vestige point, it will refill every single time. So guys, unlike every other Souls game, you don't have to buy and spend your currency to buy throwables like arrows, or be it hammer, or be it whatever it is in whatever like game you have, this is a very nice thing that I like that this game did. It was really awesome. I really ended up liking it. And there's another thing in this game. So let me show you guys. So we have something called wither mechanic in this game. So what it does is, so if somebody hits you, you don't take damage. You see guys that it was grayed out. So that when it starts graying out, I should have probably taken more damage. So it grays out and it becomes your wither damage. It's the same exact same thing like rally mechanic from Bloodborne. So if, let me show you guys. Oh, that's interesting. I'm still getting stuff from these areas. So I think there should be an enemy here. So if I just keep blocking, I would keep getting damage, but that damage is grayed out, as you guys can see, and that thing is a wither damage. So unless I stop blocking and I take a hit, let me show you guys. If I take a hit, it's all gone. But if I get a hit, let me show you guys again. If I get a hit and then I am the one doing first attack, I regain that whole health. And guys, there is another very fascinating thing with this we can do. So let me go back to the vestige point and let me show you. Actually, so every single time, even if you, let's say, had a half a health, okay, sorry guys. So if you go back to the umbral, every single time you get half a health, as you guys can see, of withered health. So if you go and kill an enemy, let's find us enemy. So there's another spot see we can get out of umbral. So if you go and kill an enemy and hit an enemy before, you will get that whole health bar. So if you're half a health, you're low on your healing potions, what do you need to do? Just go in umbral, you'll get a half wither point, and then you have to make sure you hit the enemies first, and doing that you will be able to regain your half health. So there's a lot of ways to use it to your benefit. This game definitely has that. And talking about the sound, I really like the sound. I think they did a very good job with the sound, be it the boss fights or be it just your regular enemies. It was really, really fun. I had a lot of fun and I really liked it. And it definitely, sometimes when it needs to be creepy or eerie, just to make you understand that, okay, something is coming up, it does its job, and it definitely suits the whole ambience or the environment of the game, guys. And here to show you another ways. So if you like, there are a lot of places where you have to get to the other place, you have to use your umbral. So I can shift the realm from axiom to umbral and then go across, otherwise I won't be able to. Or this is another thing, that if you don't want to go there, you can just keep the lamp up and you can cross. And see, if I turn the lamp light away, everywhere where the lamp is not projecting its light, we won't be able to walk on it. And there's so many cool mechanics within the game like this. And once I got kind of used to it, I really liked it. And there is, for Souls-like players who haven't played this game, I kept looking almost towards the end of the game for a 100% physical shield. They are not there in this game. So you hold your shield. If you hold it at a correct time, you won't take any damage, and it will be considered as a parry. I'll try. So this was a parry, which happened interestingly at the first time. So you end up parrying them, and if it's a weak enemy, and guys, I'm at level 100. We are at the end of, like, I finished the game already. This is the entry level enemy. So the moment I parry him once, he was able to riposte that fast. So anyways, so if you do a parry, you're able to do a lot of damage to their stagger damage. And there is a stagger meter. Let me show you guys. Let's find an enemy, guys. There is a circle in the white form that you guys see, and there is a small line going around. So if you are able to take them out of that, then they would be available to do a critical hit, and critical hit does a lot of damage. So, and you can use that a lot in the game. Let me show you. So this, so you guys see that circle, and you guys see there is a line going around the circle on the white dot. So that line going around is the stagger meter. So if you hit him enough, you can do that. And if somehow you are able to get to the behind of the guys and press R1, you guys see, because I'm too strong, I ended up killing that guy, and I don't want to go somewhere else where it will be stronger enemies, but we will be end up spoiling the game for you. So you guys can parry, and you can parry either way, and you can even like block. If you block at this when the enemy is about to attack you, if you do it at the right moment, you won't take damage, and you will do a lot of damage to their stagger meter. And you do it enough, you will be able to get them to the point that you can do a critical hit on them. So that was about the new mechanic, sort of little bit of new mechanic, little bit of sound. And the one thing I really liked about the game is the world explorations. Guys, there are so many amazing ways the way the world interconnects and the way it works. It's so reminiscent of Dark Souls 1. The first 70-60% of Dark Souls 1, because that's one of the best games from my perspective, the way the world interconnects, and this game did a very good job. You will not, like, when you see, okay, so this is in the demo world, like I think we are able to you need to unlock this from going around, and once you unlock it, it will stay open. So the way the world connects itself and the way the exploration work is amazing. I really love that. It definitely hit the mark over there for that, for the connectivity and everything. And now talking about the aesthetics and the art design, this game visually, guys, what I can show you in where I am in the same areas, it's one of the most beautiful and aesthetically designed. It's beautiful. I really love the art design, how it looks visually, how they've used the color palettes and everything that they have tried. I really like all the boss designs as well. They are, at every Souls-like, tend to have one or two gimmick boss fights. This game is no exempt of that, so it has some too. But the boss designs, the fights and everything is really nice. I like the game doesn't hold your hand. The maps in this game is pretty much more or less useless, guys. Let's see. So these are sort of maps of different areas that you get, and you have to try to depict from that. And a lot of times they more or less you won't be looking at that, to be honest, and they are more or less useless. That's one thing. But at the end, I was able to go through the whole area without a lot of struggle. But there are a few places towards the end, so in the game, in the demo, you will know that, yeah, a little bit further you will know very soon early in the game that there are a couple of beacons that you have to find, and when you do find all of those, and you have to do or not whatever you want to do with the choice you have with them. And then if you at the end, you will find another last beacon where you have to go and fight the last boss, and there is no visual or any hint or any direction of how to get there. I think I spent almost an hour or more or whole episode just trying to find where to get. And there are a couple of place instances where I wasn't sure where to go to explore further. And there are a lot of areas which will open up depending upon how you play, and some areas where you won't belong at all in the beginning of the game, and I ended up being there. And some areas I was able to go further, and some area we really struggled, and then I went around other places. But that part of it is understandable. It's part of the charm of the Souls-like games, because, guys, you want to explore and you want the world to interconnect, and you want that it has, like, it gives you a little bit of it but doesn't hold your hand at all. So when you find finally a new place or new area you can unlock or discover, the joy is the same as killing the boss, like a hard boss that you have been fighting through. I think getting lost and finding your way in the Souls-like games is part of the charm. and part of the package, and actually welcome that. But in this game, at few instances, it's really harder. Like towards the end, like they could have given a little bit of hint or a little bit of pointer, like, you know, and then you have to dig it yourself or search it yourself. I wouldn't say it was too hard. I probably wasn't looking properly at my head, but they don't make it easy, definitely. So that part I didn't like a little bit. And one of the big things I didn't like was the end fight, the ending of the game, the boss fight, the last boss. You fight a literal god, guys. I'm not going to share the name and, like, you know, spoil that for you, but it becomes a gimmick fight. The last boss fight should be an epic fight. You should be struggling to kill him. You have to learn the mechanic. You have to, you know, figure out his weakness or something, some sort of that kind of a, you know, you want to have that kind of experience. But at the very end, when I ended up finishing the final boss, I thought there would be a phase 2, because a lot of other previous bosses had phase 2, and that boss didn't have phase 2, had nothing, and it was just very underwhelming fight, and I really didn't end up liking that a lot. That was one of the something that, because it ended up make me feel that, okay, I want more. This is not how I wanted the game to end, because I really had a good time playing the game, fighting a lot of bosses. Some bosses I really had a hard time to. One of the boss especially, which is shown in the trailer, in the game. But even in the demo, or even in the very early cinematic, guys. So apart from that, let's talk about stats and scaling. So before stats, leveling and scaling, one of the biggest thing I liked about this game is, if you get a good strength weapon, it would only scale with strength. If you guys can see this weapon, it's A plus now. After I have it to plus 10, it's level up only with strength. And if you guys see this, it's with B. It even but this one, because it has damage in so many different stats, like physical, holy fire, it has so many different kind of damage to it. It does level up with different stats, but the main one is still strength. And if you see the initial weapon and the weapon that I picked up after, it all does strength leveling. So that's the reason I got my vitality to 35, and then endurance, I don't think you have to go above 25. I was playing strength, 25 was more than enough, and then you can use different kind of runes, or you can use different kind of rings to increase it further. And apart from that, I actually was trying to put points in radiance. I took my strength all the way to 75, and we do amazing damage. So I am quite sure the soft cap would be somewhere 70-75 for radiance, inferno, or agility, if you want to do that. And you have a lot of weapons. See, this is a dagger. Let me show you guys. So this is a dagger, which is of course a dexterity weapon. So what does it scales with? Agility. You guys see that? And a lot of Souls-like, I don't like that you find a strength weapon, and it's a really good strength weapon, but you have to put points in magic, you have to put points in dexterity, you have to put points in something else too. Don't get me wrong, there are a couple of weapons which you will get which are quality built, so you can put points in strength and agility both, or you can have a weapon with strength and radiance, or you can have with strength and inferno, and same with agility and radiance and agility and inferno. But there is a lot of weapons, good weapons in every build that you can use, and only put points in the build that you have chosen for. Like, so if you are going radiance build, you can pick a weapon. It's almost you can pick a weapon and you can put points only in radiance and increase your radiance to 60, 70, 75 and be a big radiant knight, and otherwise, or a paladin guy, and or you can be a pyromancy, inferno, and you have a lot of magic things, and you have weapons too which scales with just inferno. They're hammers, guys, which only like scales with radiance or inferno. Like, what more you guys need? I think they did a very good job with that, like with the weapons and the scaling and everything. You can pick strength or agility or radiance or inferno and become a big wonk, a badass killing machine in this. Like, the game does justice to every kind of build. So there is nothing like one build is stronger than. It comes to your style of play and then how good you get in playing in that particular style. So, and there is another really thing I like about it is, so you see guys, see this tint, so you can use this to change the color of your armor. So whichever, so let me show you guys. As you can see on the top, the moment I press on any of those, the color starts changing, and you can do that with any armor you want. And I think I didn't collected all of them. There are more in the game. You can see the empty boxes most of the time. That means there are more of that stuff. And Games Dude does a very good job of the tutorial. They shows you a lot of stuff and everything. So my final verdict, I really loved and enjoyed the game. The combat, I wanted to play a strength build, and I really ended up enjoying story build. Like strength build, the strength really hits hard in these games, guys. And if you level up all the way, like the way it's supposed to be, every build will do the same, and you can get as strong and as good as you want. And the game, the I would give it a solid like 4.5. There's just few things that I didn't like. Apart from that, one of the things was the different kind of enemies. You only have a very limited kind of enemies in the game, and after the very first few chapters or the very first few areas of the game, you would feel like the rest of them, they have been just reskinned, or it's the same kind of enemies just made with more HP, or they hit more harder. So that was something that I really didn't like. Apart from these minus couple of things, the game, I didn't really had any issues when it comes to performance, apart from 2-3 points which happen here and there. A little bit of stutter and a little bit of ended up falling to a bottom of the game design level or something. That was really hilarious and funny, and I ended up dying because of that. But apart from that, the game has been running smooth. It's really awesome. I would definitely recommend that to the people who likes action soul RPG like games, and like a good combat and like a challenge. This is a really fun game. You guys would have a lot of fun with it. There's a little bit of ups and downs with the game, but that happens with any game you have played. There are very few games which comes close to perfection, and the games which are legendary and comes to perfection, even they have some setbacks or some things, like minor little things that people didn't like about them. But this is definitely worth checking. I would definitely recommend it. I would give it a solid 4.5 out of 5, and I really like what CI Games did with it. I am definitely going to play Lords of the Fallen 2.2, which is coming in 2026. Can't tell you guys enough how much I'm looking forward to it. Having said all of that, guys, I hope you guys give this game a chance, or play a demo. The game is available for a demo, and the game has been on most of the time on a big discount for like $29 or so, or $20 or $29 depending upon where you are. For that price, I think it's definitely a steal, and it's definitely worth checking. I had so much fun with this game. Looking forward to the 2.0. Thank you guys for listening and being part of the video. Appreciate your time. Peace out.